Welcome to Everyday Entrepreneurs Everywhere with your host, Chris Parker.
Hello, and welcome to Everyday Entrepreneurs Everywhere. And today we are with, I want to say, Eva Pascual. Eva said I could say it however I want. And so it's Eva Pascual. I'm going to say Eva Pascual. I'm just going to stick with that. And she's here on the planet Earth with us, and I think she's going to talk maybe a little bit about that perspective. And we met, I think, on like one of the EXO Exponential live summits, and if I remember right, we're doing a little bit of chatting, and there was a like-mindedness connection, and we stayed in touch, and here we are. So, Eva, can you please share with us what do you do, and why do you do what you do?
Thank you so much for the invitation and sharing this space and the inspiration with me and the audience. It's a pleasure. I'm here, as you said, you can call me as you like because I didn't choose my name. And I'm a researcher, and I want to understand really nature and reality to behave and play the game of life properly with all the instructions. So I spent 25 years searching for understanding deeper, not only in science, in ancient cultures too, and philosophies and religions and maths, physics, spiritual understandings, any type of esoteric burned knowledge, because I understood I'm the result of 2000 years burning people that they were sensitive enough to understand reality without giving their power out of themselves. So I decided to, when I was 19, I got really sick, and they left me like, okay, there's nothing to do with you. And so I started studying medicine. I was a producer then. I was optimizing companies and making big events for companies since I was really young. But I became really sick because of the products I was using. And I studied Chinese medicine, quantum medicine, photon medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. And I realized I knew nothing about how reality works. So I keep searching and searching with the goal of becoming the most useful human on earth I knew. Because I was like, okay, as a kid, I didn't find a mentor or someone who I really felt it was congruent. So I did my best to become that and be useful for everyone, optimizing knowledge and research by making visualizations, simple diagrams and visualizations of it. So I started working as a producer, as I said, and then I searching for medicine to restore life and health. I found out that we didn't knew nothing about perception, and we were completely confused with constructs that allows ourselves to perceive ourselves apart from nature, being it. So I spent 18 years searching for perceptive skills burned in the Inquisition and all the wars and everything that we are really trained ourselves through insensitivity and lack of present awareness, not only lack of understanding about how physicality is generated by vibration, just how you perceive that and how limited we are to perceive the environment, vibrational changes and the environment patterns and cycles. So I become like a mouse, like a squirrel, finding everything about it, until I realized no one was capable to see the gears of thinking where we project the ideas. So I basically map out and color-coded the gears of thinking and made a graphic storyboard for any creator or developer to be capable to understand the structure of the psyche, understand how we time travel through consciousness, but not only that, understanding how you can dissolve any conflict because you understand how there is a perceptive error of separation creating all the conflicts and issues we live nowadays. And that looks so bizarre for a lot of humans that they think they identify themselves with their thought, and they think that if they don't think, they don't exist and things like that. That I decided to make it a really simple graphics that a 6-year-old kid can replicate, or a cinema director can make a script about it. And with that identification, you realize a few things: how humans lose awareness from the present moment, how we lose the capacity of loving, that is our essence, and how we acidify ourselves enough to kill ourselves by acidification. And it's all about not identifying the gears of thinking. That is basically this structure in front of us, where we project our knowledge, that is memory, that is past, in front of us, so we lose awareness from the skin to the screen of thinking. And there we project not only things fragmented, we project ourselves to another time space to see and perceive that. That's why we lose sensitivity and presence enough to perceive what is right for doing and what is not really thriving for life or nature.
Wow.
So this is what I do. I draw the invisible for people to understand it, to identify it, and do something about it.
You draw the invisible. I think we could have a 30-minute conversation about almost every word you just now said. So
choose a theme.
I'm loving this. I want to choose the theme of vibration. The one word you discussed or you mentioned about midway there is I think you said that we are all vibration, or everything is vibration, or can you dive down that rabbit hole a bit?
We have to check the background. I mean, we come because we think with what we know, and what we know, it comes from the Cartesian paradigm. That is, a paradigm is a bunch of beliefs that allows you to perceive reality in one shape or another. The flat earth paradigm allows people to even see how you will follow from, how will you fall from the edge of the horizon. Yeah. So they even had construction companies to put walls just in case the dragon came. Well. So the creative society creates a structure based in their paradigm. And there's a lot of services that are based in an expired paradigm, as I said. So we are now living the most amazing time on Earth because we are shifting 3 paradigms in one row. We are stuck in the Cartesian, where time and distance, so time and separation, looks existing, when it's obviously that in now, there's no time. Only if you open a window in your gears of thinking application and you see another dimension, another time space, or another frame from wholeness, then looks like existing. But in now, time doesn't exist. Neither separation. Because even you are stepping the same sphere I am, you are breathing the same ether I am breathing. I'm drinking the pee that you pee 3 months ago, maybe, because it's the same water on and on Earth.
You're welcome for that.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm like, I try to live a life completely healthy, but I'm done because I'm drinking the water full of drugs of people that don't understand the system. So they keep putting drugs in their system, and I keep drinking those drugs and those substances that I'm not really happy with it. But anyhow, nowadays we are stuck in the Cartesian paradigm. We have huge industries based in something obsolete, and we need to transcend to the unified paradigm that allows humans to understand water unified, for them not to pollute water, and the air unified, because we share the atmosphere that is immersed in water too. And we share the sphere, so we can't make fracking and pipelines and things like that can pollute or fragment the sphere, because the sphere has no fragments. So we are transcending from the Cartesian to the unified, and then to the holographic paradigm. In between the unified and the holographic, that the holographic shows you that everything is a reflection in fractals, patterns, implosive, explosive patterns of sacred geometry structures. Before the holographic paradigm that is proven 15 years ago, but the guys in Oxford University are waiting for the principal to retire to change all the books about how reality works, because they say there is no enough artists. And this is a call to action to all the artists. Please understand reality and make graphics about it, because otherwise we are totally stuck. So we are in the Cartesian, thinking that time and distance exist. We have to transcend to the unified paradigm that allows you to understand that everything has a vibration, a resonance, a frequency. So if everything is frequency and everything is changing, we are immersed in a unified field of frequencies that is something like that basically registers everything you think and do. We are making a virtual reality experience, proving that love should be the law, using vortex math for you to understand that you are immersed in a unified field, and only goodwill will make you grow. So the unified field, that is vibration, it has to be perceived and used to create new industries based in the unified paradigm. So you will start using frequency as a standard. So you will design with nature proportions, nature patterns, and you will create devices, electric devices, that instead of microwaves, harmful waves, they will be based in nature wavelengths, because they have a specific codes of numbers of wavelengths. So you can create anything, any device measuring frequency as a standard, you will create a harmonized tool. So it doesn't matter if it's electrically or if it's stuff like a 3D solid thing without electricity. If you use nature proportions and nature frequencies, you will have a harmonizer. So that will increase your marketing because it will increase the well-being of the user. But for that, we need to transcend from the Cartesian to the unified, basically.
And you mentioned love is law. And on your website, evolution, I have to say it quickly, evolution. So it's EVALUTION. I'll put it in the show notes, .net/love-is-law. It says there, it says, let's erase together the perceptive error of separation in humanity. This is what you're talking about, this unifying paradigm.
Yeah, because if you understand and identify the gears of thinking and how we think with what we know, and our knowledge is full of concepts that fragments what is unified. Let's check out water. You see water fragmented because you've been taught hours and hours of your life. You've been seeing a map, a diagram of the cycle of water that tells you that there is one water different in the river, that in the sea, that in the ocean. That makes no sense at all because it's one substance that changes the state as you have different states in your nails, in your saliva, in your eyes. But that is not fair if I make a law for one of your eyes and a reserve in another eye and I frack in one of your ear and make an industrial development in your other ear because you're an integral creature and I will harm you. And we are doing that to water. So we are creating a visual reference to erase all those constructs we've been taught from the expired paradigm. And in that Love is Law page of our website, we showcase a virtual reality experience where you understand that love is the law, is the ultimate law because it's the force that makes life grow. And we showcase that through vortex math. We use mathematical laws that are the laws for the white people to understand that whatever you think as an intention or you do act towards reality, on top of reality, it will create a wave of nines that gets back to you straight from the vortex because it's everlasting. And there is two waves that are completely interconnected, the waves of nines and the waves of 369s that Tesla was talking about all day long. So we prove in a visual format, we create visual concepts that allows people to transcend 50 years of research and development and basically put themselves in an evolution state of mode that allows you to understand deeper reality and act in order with life blooming because you understood physics and mindfulness and goodwill straightforward in 5 minutes experience, and then you move forward. You are you become the reference, the standard of your union because you use deeper understanding of reality.
So some people would say what you're speaking about is very sort of spiritual, but what I'm hearing from you is more mathematical or mathematics. Or is it one or the other or both or how?
Because human needs to fragmentize stuff to understand it.
That's what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with my humanness right now of like, where do I file this information right now? It does not compute.
Gonna box her. I need to box her somewhere in a country, in a river. Like which ocean are you stepping on? So let's check this out, okay? The indigenous people talk about the spirit and the physicists talk about the unified field. Those are both the same thing, okay? So for the ancient Greeks, they will describe what we say in 4 concepts, they say synadesis. So for the Greeks, synadesis was described nowadays as imagination, thought, consciousness, and wholeness. They will call synadesis. They will have no 4 words to describe for them was the same thing, that it was the unified field. So for them, imagination was a block of possibilities, thought was the door to open possibilities, consciousness was having all the possibilities, and wholeness was with all the scripts inside. So we call that, and we need to find okay, how we connect the spirit with quantum physics. you don't need to connect it because it's exactly the same thing, describe it with different invented words by confused humans because they perceive fragmented. So nowadays, we need to understand that if everything is vibrating, nothing has a surface. That means that everything is a spirit. So you say, oh, you're too spiritual. I'm a physicist. I can explain you through numbers, codes of angles, and any mathematical law that for humans are the law for white people. And I can explain you this to an elder in the bush, in the jungle, how to perceive through the skin how the spirit or the unified field expands your creature. So that means that you have to follow that idea or that comment or that pathway. So you have a GPS that is your skin, that is the biggest organ in the body, not only outside. You have a skin, fascias in your muscles, in your veins. So you are an electromagnetic creature. You are moving through electromagnetic fields. If they are in order, you expand through spirals. For that, you have to be in your flesh, reincarnated in your skin, without your attention in the screens of thought that will take your awareness from present and throw your consciousness to another time space where you lose track completely from present.
Yeah.
So basically, if you are inside your flesh, you are perceiving the unified field or spirit thriving or shrinking. So you are safe. You don't need to control future. You don't need to invent what is going to happen. You don't need to become a dictator, maniac of... you just need to control your state of frequency. And if you maintain, because you consume only high frequency, and you allow your awareness to not pay any attention to low frequency structures, then you are safe. So, you will thrive and bloom, secure.
Tell me, can you define for me high and low frequency? Does that mean happy and hate? Or is that or am I not comparing this?
You can check. There was a doctor called Dr. Hawkins that he mapped out through biosensors, and he made something that is really visual that I like, that is called map of consciousness. The map of consciousness showcases the vibrational frequency of someone in a state of bliss and enlightenment and someone in red that is hopeless, basically. But the main thing is for you to understand that if everything is frequencies and frequencies should be the standard, you need to be aware of what you consume. This is entertainment. If you consume violent entertainment, you will love your frequency. If you consume corpses, because everything is energy, it depends on how food decomposes. Just a second, helicopter.
Yeah.
It depends on how food decomposes. If you consume fruit that makes gas because it ferments, that's super high frequency. If you consume corpses that putrefies, is the lowest frequency. So if you check everything as a rainbow, corpses like fish, meat, it will be red. Eggs and milk, it will be yellow. Cereals and vegetables will be green and blue, and fruit will be violet. So if you understand your electromagnetic being and you have to get closer to golden mean or golden ratio to perfection, you just consume higher and higher frequencies. You create higher frequency entertainment, high frequency thoughts, high frequency conversation, high frequency surroundings. You put devices or proportions in everything you design or you get around for you to maintain your perfect structure. But if you don't understand frequency as a standard, you will allow maybe company that talks low frequency conversation, or you will allow to feed yourself with low frequency food or check low frequency entertainment. And that will not make you bloom. So that's why I'm doing my best to implement frequency as a standard, because it affects everything.
Wow. Frequency is a standard. I'm looking at the David Hawkins map of consciousness levels, and it goes from shame, guilt, apathy, grief on the bottom. Fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality is sort of as
more you understand and remember that you are the creator, that you are basically reflecting reality, that you are living your past states of vibration, as closer you get to that, you maintain yourself in violet. And when you are in your flesh, you can even remote read the other's state of vibration. So I can tell you what is your color right now, because I'm in the unified field with you.
Yeah.
And right now you are 600 hertz. You are dark blue. I do that by wandering and perceiving the skin. I don't know if by perceiving the skin, because you are immersed in the unified field with me, and I wonder what is his state.
Yeah.
And pass my finger above a map of consciousness, my entire skin, when I touch your color, does boo, like a PA system. So with that is remote perception, because if you're in the skin, you can do that with not only people, with situations, which situation is higher frequency or lower frequency. But for that, you have to be in your real GPS. Your perceptive system is not thought. Thought is based in knowledge. And what we have as knowledge right now is completely expired. Your perceptive system is the skin, because it's the biggest organ in the body that is in a state of presence and is capable to expand and contract depending on the frequency you are around. But you don't have to be close. You just have to connect to that frequency that is already immersed in the unified field. So by implementing frequency as a standard and recovering presence, recovering the state of controlling the application of the gears of thinking, you can basically do and design whatever you want, because you will always be safe. I can work with you. I will be able to create with you and communicate with you freely without having to translate my paradigm to a Cartesian paradigm, because you are blue. If you were yellow, I will not have used half of the words I use. I will have to translate myself in an expired paradigm for you to understand me.
It's fascinating, the themes and the messages you're bringing up. I myself am the word I want to, words fail us, a student of Esther Hicks, if you know Abraham Hicks. And her premise is basically if you manage your emotions in the form of vibration, then you can effectively create your perception or manifest your reality and attract like vibrating experiences in your life. So it's much less scientific as this, but the paradigm that, to use that word, that I am constantly discovering and enjoying and playing with is very much in line with the consciousness levels and what you're talking about. What I'm really curious about is because this is a podcast about everyday entrepreneurs everywhere, and entrepreneurs that doesn't have to mean commerce or business, but oftentimes it does. What can people do with this? So if they are in a environment company, if they're creating their space, which is a lower hertz, lower vibration space, probably not creating joy and peace and harmony with their customers, probably they're in hostile, painful experiences all day, all night. What can we learn from this? Like from a global commerce perspective, all the way down to an individual entrepreneur?
I guess that everyone becomes an entrepreneur because of two reasons. They want to be successful and they want to create legacy. If you don't want to create legacy, you better die, because you're useless for life. Because that's it. First of all. Second, you were talking about your person that inspires you, and you were talking about emotions. First of all, we think that we have to have emotions, and that's fake. We develop emotions because we compare what we think with what happens. I will let you know right now, for you to be an entrepreneur and be happy the rest of your life and control your perception, because you understand how the hack creates the gears of thinking, how you perceive. Yeah. So basically, you grab from your memory what you know, you make a collage in front of you, and with that collage, you suppose futures and you make up opinions about past. When you make an idea in front of you, allowed to be developed, occupying the interface of your perception, if that idea matches with what is happening, you are happy. If that idea doesn't match, you are in conflict. You are sad or you are violent. So let's play a game for you to transcend to emotions for the rest of your life, to be able to hack reality, to transcend to emotions, hacking emotions, because you understood the source of emotions. So anytime, let's wonder something for all your audience. Is not the truth that the last time you got angry, it was because there was something you didn't like it happening? It's not true that...
Yeah, I see anger as a response to missed expectations. So if I expected or desired something else and then it didn't happen, and then anger can result. I think that...
so that expectation was an idea floating in front of yourself. and you lose your peace and your capacity of loving because of putting your awareness in that projection that is a mental screen in front of you. Your awareness goes on the skin that doesn't allow any harm, or any suffer, or any acidification to the screen, where you allow to become violent and you allow yourself to lose sensitivity. So every time we got angry is because we have a screen, a holographic screen with a conditioned idea based in our knowledge, in our past, and it doesn't match, we can even kill. We lose our peace because we compare what we want with what is happening. And if it matches, it's great. If it doesn't match, I get sad or I get angry. So emotions,
let me come back to the paradigm, because I think my life's work, I think all of our life's work, is actually to disconnect physical outcomes as being drivers for emotional response. So what I try to do is not live in the past and not live in the future, although I am human and my brain takes me there. And if I can, and I think we're saying some similar things, but with different words. What I aspire to do and do well sometimes is just be that contentment and that satisfaction, regardless of the outcome. And so it's a weird balance of being satisfied and delighted with now, and eager and open for more, and try to avoid negative emotions if things come out differently, because I know they will come out differently. And so when I mentioned this,
that's brilliant.
So
that's brilliant.
I'm no master in this by any means, but
no, I was trying to share how the mathematics of emotion. So it's not about good or bad. Is that we allow ourselves. We have an application. Let's say that thought is like an augmented reality application that opens in front of us with what we know, and that those holograms in front of us that are augmented reality holograms, sometimes they describe reality as it is, or others they describe reality completely opposite as it is, like the hydrological map or anatomy.
Yeah.
So if we get attached to those holographic screens, then we create emotions. Yeah. If we don't perceive those screens, if we don't pay attention and we are listening to what happens, we are in the state of bliss. And then the forward step is to remember that you are reflecting reality, that you are a battery, and you are reflecting reality through your harmony or your disharmony. So you're creating the reflection. So you go faster and faster to dissolve emotions, and you can even hack them. So if something like the other day, the car stopped, we wanted to drive someone to the station, the car stopped, they didn't, and we started screaming, pink dolphins, Metatrons, and the car started. Because we basically project ourselves in a higher realm, perfect reality. And someone can look at us and say, these guys are nuts. Yeah. But it works because your consciousness traveled to a higher realm. So if you understand reality and emotions, you can hack both and don't allow yourself to athify yourself because of a lack of awareness.
I've never thought of manipulatively hacking, but I love it. But the way I try to teach my two boys, who are 10 and 11, it's a game we call Mind Magic, and we play it on, like, when we're driving into a parking lot. And I say, okay, guys, let's get happy, let's get focused. There's going to be a perfect parking spot for us. Let's lean into this, use our mind magic.
And be completely secure of what is going to happen.
And I can't say every time, but pretty much every time it's there. And then, because there it is. So, Eva,
we are trying to facilitate this process. We are writing a Hacking Reality online course where you will identify how it works, and how you can basically are the miracles maker and the wizard you are, and how you can basically hack reality by understanding deeper reality, your gears of thinking, and basically how you're a cosmonaut and how you can really, really thrive by enjoying. That's the only
beautiful and
purpose.
Powerful. And if people follow you on evolution.net or connect with you maybe on LinkedIn, I'll put those on
Thank you so much.
on the show notes. Is that the best way for people to get in touch with you?
I use both, the
Okay.
website link, and I use another name for Facebook that is Zoe Smith, where I normally upload the Oculus virtual reality experience. So if someone has Oculus, they can get inside the scenarios we do to reveal the invisible through Zoe Smith Facebook page. That is the same picture as Eva Pascual in so it's easy to find.
So Smith.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that. We are actually out of time, and actually I don't care at the moment because I would like to ask you one more question. On your
Please.
on your website, FIA. That's the Frequency Intelligence Agency. Can you just give us 1 or 2 minutes on what is the Frequency Intelligence Agency, and are they watching me?
Yes, we are watching. We are taking care of you.
Okay.
And this is because I become a really expensive doctor. I was really, really efficient dissolving any type of conflict in human organism because of working with so many techniques based in frequencies. So I become an expensive slave, and realizing that everything that I was doing for rich families was generically used, could be used for humans, I decided to quit my job and travel for 5 years and find out all the inventors and the people that can restore nature globally. So I traveled 5 years to go to high-profile events like the World Economic Forum, Ocean World Summit, Understanding Risk, NASA events, everywhere, to inspire people with generic knowledge about human well-being. In that pathway, I met a lot of inventors that they use frequency as a standard to create devices to restore nature. So they can restore water purity using frequencies, and not only water purity, water fractality, water fractal structure. So they restore water memory, and they can ionize the air, or basically restore all the frequencies of your home. So FIA basically is the gathering agency of all these creatures that are inventors, that they don't put any attention in promote themselves, but I've been basically gathering them and giving those contacts to the policymakers, the world leaders, or people that are making decisions without understanding frequency as a standard to use those devices and that understanding. And what we are doing now is interviews, so we call it Normalizing the Invisible, in the same website, in Evolution. If you go to Love is Law, there are these type of inventors talking for 1 hour and explaining with physics and graphics how those things really works and how they should be implemented all over the world. So with FIA, we do our best to give those understanding and those contacts for you to have to be able to avoid 50 years of research and development and 5 years of finding these nerds in garages or with big companies that they cannot really restore nature. So that's FIA, the Frequency Intelligence Agency.
Incredible. Okay, I knew I needed to ask that question. So Eva, thank you so much. This has been incredible. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for the insights. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for what you're doing. Again, everyone, it's evolution.net. I'll put that in the show notes at ebullient.com/podcast/Eva Pascual. And we'll also, that'll be available when you find this, and also on a link from wherever you're listening to the podcast. So Eva, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Chris, and thank you, everyone. Anyone who needs a complex visualization or a complex structure simplified, just reach us, and we are here to serve. So thank you. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Learn more at ebullient.com/podcast.